There we go. Guys, can you hear me? There he is. Yes, sorry about that. I had a glitch, had to restart OBS. I think we're okay. So Daddy's in the house. Welcome on in. All right, guys and girls. So we've got to get this guy, get some stain on there, and then we can continue on this guy while that dries. So let's do that. I'm going to move this over. Pop this down onto this bench up here. Move this camera around so you can see what I'm doing. Let's flick that bench over. There we go. Give that a wipe down. And then we'll start. Where's my rags? I need some rags. I need to cut up some rags into small pieces. We need lots of, couple of small squares. Just one small square. I'll cut two small squares. That'll get us our dye going. This guy, a good wipe down. No dust anywhere. We're only doing the front, the top, I should say. The sides are being left alone. And that will get, that black stain will go into that grain and get this guy looking nice and dark, and then we're going to sand it all off and then start with the color process. Okay, let me have a catch up and see what's going on with you guys. Where did my glasses go? What did I do with them? Where are my spectacles? I'm making a spectacle of myself. Here they are. Just want to check. 77 Chefs Ready Kruger 88. Wow. That's a huge name. Thank you very much, Dana, for that 24-hour stream. There's the details, guys and girls. Get in there. Orby's in the house. My friend Greg, what is going on? This is our new jazz style, what I call our neoclassical. Our neoclassical range. I've got this guy carved out and ready for some stain. And I'm about to get that sorted out now. I'm going to get some gloves on, get that stain on there. And then we'll be able to see how much sanding we need to do. We've got to sand it all back once the stain goes on there, of course. The stain is to bring up the flame. We're going to use black. Let's go here. I'm going to grab some gloves because it makes a hell of a mess. Looks great. Well, Greg, I hope so. We've got the shape. There's the carve. It's a flat top here, so we're getting a. There's no bulge there. It's just a flat top. So we're getting a hardtail in there and a bolt-on neck. We've got the horn cut out there. We've got the nose dive there. That nose dive's there, and we've got that beautiful little mound up here, nice and round. And we've got a little bit of a white showing there, a little bit of a binding look, but that's going to be coloured, so you're not going to see that. The black's going all the way to the edges, and of course we are leaving the mahogany natural colour on the sides and just oiling that. But this is getting a black coat. The colour, the end colour will be like this. This is the end colour that we're striving to achieve. That guy there. So it's you can see the flame through there. It's quite dark. There's a little bit of a red, coppery gleam to it. It's a bit of a pearl finish as well. We're going to go for something like that, maybe a touch lighter, but this is the first stages is to get all the black on there and get this grain to pop. So we're going to be doing that. The neck is coachwood. We've got the shape cut out. We've got to get the baseball bat out of that now and take that down by about a good third of an inch or so, maybe half an inch. There's a lot of meat there. But of course, the fretboard is something else. It's a very streaky, beautifully streaky coloured ebony. That's going to look fantastic in this guy here. Like so. There's our neoclassical, as I call it. The recess controls, yeah, I just thought I wanted, because it's curved there, I didn't want the, and that's a trick sometimes. A lot of players, a lot of builders, they sort of get to, in my experience, and I've done it myself, you get a curved top that falls away like that, and the knobs have to sit there, and you think, well, they're sitting on an angle. They can't get a nice flat surface. So what those recessed holes do is you can see the profile there. You can see the gradient. They actually give you a flat bed for those knobs and that switch to sit nice and flush and perpendicular to the horizontal plane. So they're going to sit there nice and neatly. And I'll show you those. I'll mock that up and give you a look at what that's going to look like. Before we put the black on there, let's get the hardware and show you what this guy's going to look like roughly. We're going to go with this cosmic black metallic black knobs. Bring this up a little bit. Okay, that knob's going to be in there like that. If you can imagine that popping up through there. And we've got the bridge, this hardtail, again in cosmic black. Okay, that guy there. And of course we've got the metal rings for the EMGs. This thing's getting Kirk Hammett bone breakers. And we're just using a flat ring because it is a flat top. But you can see the black there, the hardware working really well with that. And that's giving you a bit more of an idea of what that's going to look like. The commands are great. Yep. Okay. So that's roughly what that's going to look like. You can see it's starting to take shape. Let's get that black on there. And we'll let it dry while we work on the rest of the neck carve. So let's do that. Nice and clean. Got our stain here. Put my gloves on. Trust me, this won't hurt me a bit, as the doctor said. You guys have gone, hey, Leslie, what's going on? Good to see you. You guys have gone absolutely apeshit with the commands. What are you doing, Dana? You've lost the plot. Safety first, Mav. Yes, we're pretty good with this stain. We just need gloves just to keep the stuff out of our fingers because it's a bugger to get to clean up afterwards. Okay. Very, very slowly. This is quite concentrated. Just going to rub that in. Get some nice even coverage all the way to the edge, but not over the edge. You can see there's a little bit of a binding effect. I've sanded and rounded those corners off, and you can see there's a bit of a binding effect just there. It actually looks quite good. So I can sand those and leave a binding effect before I put oil and coat that guy over. Just get this guy stained up. It will have a very, very slight burst on the edges, very, very mild, but it's going to be essentially the same color all over. Don't forget to get into these pots properly, into these cavities. Cover up those That grain is drinking up a lot of that very, very quickly. Ferals, absolutely feral. That's what you are. Feral cats, wild cats like bobcats. We'll tidy up those corners in there in a minute with a little brush. I can't get my fingers in there. It's just too tight. Just let that, that's drinking it all up really quickly. See some of that grain's raising. You can see a little bit of the red through there as well. That's just a consequence of that strong redwood, that red gum. Surprisingly, the rag does give you a lot of control. You can freehand that pretty well, and it tends to go where you want it to directionally. I can see there's a couple little scratches and things I'll sand out, but that's the beauty of it. We do still have to sand this out, so we will get those corrected before we seal these guys in and get the colour right. Just feather that in. You might need to do a couple of coats. It depends how that grain pops with the first coat. This is quite black, so we'll see how we go. That's the body done. That's the top of that guy. Let that dry. I just need to get into those recesses now and just paint that in there. Princess Puffy Pants. Turned out it was a boy, but I never changed his name. Well, there goes the neighborhood. Let's see if I can find a little brush that works. My brushes are all dead. I've got to get some new brushes. They're all finished. But I only need a little bit of just a tiny bit of brush. Just clean this up. I'm just going to get in there. Just paint those corners in. Neoclassical. Why did I go that way? Well, it's a little bit of a metal machine, this thing, so a little bit of Malmsteen, a lot of Kirk Hammett. The owner is a big fan of Metallica, a big fan of Malmsteen, but also wanted something that looks a little bit violinish, a little bit classical, a little bit sort of retro-ish. So I took a jazz master and just made some mods on the shape. Came up with this prototype, and I think it looks really good. I like that shape as well. I wouldn't mind having one for myself, just like that. Get that stain in there. Get this guy nice and black, and we'll sand that out later. Okay, that's 2 done. 1 more to go. A little bit of white in there. Those edges. And then we're done. Let that dry off. Maybe come back to it, sand it off later, and have a look at how that flame is popping, how it comes up. We'll let that guy dry. This rag. Okay, let's put this guy away. I'll take the gloves off. As you can see, it's drunk a lot of that up. It could probably use with a little bit more. It could probably do with a bit more. Let me grab that rag again and just give that I might just give it another coat later. I don't want to go too dark. You can see the red shining through, but it's grabbing all that grain. Yeah, going to do that, Texas, but not now. Going to do that, but not now. There's still a couple of rounds to go. We'll get it in there and clean that up eventually. I want to get the right color in there. Once I mix the color, that's what I'll use to stain the inside of the hole. Because it isn't staying black, it's going a particular color. It's going that color there, which is a bit of a pearl finish, and it's got a little bit of red through there, and it's a bit of a gunmetal gray sort of. It might even go a little bit lighter than that. We'll see how we go. Right, let that dry. And what we're going to do is move this guy. Let's put this stain away. Put that stain away for next time. My hands are clean. What a miracle. It's complicated. Yeah, there's a little bit of grain. There's a little bit of grain happening in there. It's quite flamed. It's quite figured. We're just going to get that drying in there. We're going to sand all that off later on. Excuse me a sec, guys. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Just had to take an urgent call. Everything's good. What do we got? Yes, we are here. Is this a commission? Rage, this is a commission. Yes, it is. This is a commission. He wanted a shape. I came up with the shape for him. He had a vision of a ESP type of Viper shape. I took that elongated back end from that, or similar to that. I also took the carve similar to a Viper. It's very gentle. It's only about a 1/4 inch to a 5/16 drop away. It's very, very gradual, right? So, and we've got that on there. It'll be a little bit lighter than that. You'll see some red popping through there because that redwood is pretty heavy and pretty rich when it gets wet. So we'll get that dry. We'll get onto the neck now, guys, and finish the neck off. We're carving the neck. I'm going to move the guitar over to a surface where it can dry in the next room, and then we'll carry on. Okay, where are we? We're up to this guy. We've got to take the thickness out of this guy and get this guy finished off. We also got to get the safety planer on here and get this headstock sorted out. We might do that if we get time. We're going to hit this guy and try and finish it. You can see I didn't show you the back of that guy. I want to show you what the neck's going to look like. It's a little bit wet, so I'll let it dry and I'll show you later. But essentially what we've got is we've got a staggered heel where we've got that now, that nice oval or rounded, and it turns quite on itself, quite tight, like a really long elliptical shape. And that elliptical shape also matches with the cutaway on the back of the guitar where the bolts go in. There's a nice big shoulder cutaway, and I'm also doing a tummy cut on the back, and I've started that, and I'll finish that a little later on too. Let's get this guy done and dusted, and that way we can work on the body some more once it dries. Any questions, guys, pop them in the chat. I'll probably see them eventually. I'm not going to guarantee I'll see them this century, but they will be read eventually. No, it's all good. What do we got? Safety dance. You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. Something about if you don't dance, you're no friend of mine. Men Without Hats was the name of that band. And Safety Dance was their one-hit wonder. Huh. Yeah, the ESPs are a little bit like that, Orby. That's right. They've got a little bit of that wobbly fat end, just like the one you've got, right? And of course, the difference there is I've taken that high shoulder from the Jazz Master and sort of stretched it a little bit further. And then, of course, I've replaced the Jazz Master horn in the cutaway section with a Les Paul shape. Gives it a little bit more streamlinedness. It makes it a little bit quirkier. It makes it a little bit more unique. And it actually goes really well together. So, alrighty, let's get this guy going. So I'll just put this clamp on here. And we'll get you down to the bench. Get this guy carved out the shape. Move my bench over. Yeah, give me a bit more room. There we go. What I want to do now is get that thickness down. I need to get it down a fair bit. Before I do that, I'll just mark out where I need to get it. Roughly speaking, it should be about there, but I just want to double check the thickness of that truss rod. Make sure we give it enough meat to miss the truss rod, but also give it a slim enough neck to make it playable and not look like a baseball bat completely, even though Orby is a fan of the baseball bat. Okay, I have marked that out correctly. We're going to go down to about there. I'm going to give that an extra 1/8 of an inch above that line there. So an 1/8 of an inch above that, and that's where we're going to stop. And then the scraping will take it down to where we want. So I'm going to grab my marker. I'm going to mark this an 1/8 of an inch. Above that little line. So we're going to cut down to that first line, that top line there. Okay, so we've got that top line is where we're going to cut down, and then we're going to scrape to that second line. We'll do the same on the other side. Always double check it. Make sure I have marked the line correctly. That's the mark there, that's correct. So what I'm going to do is take an 1/8 of an inch, put it down. Okay. Right. We've got some cutting to do, guys and girls, and that cutting's going to be about close to, not quite 1/2 an inch, but maybe 5/16 at least. And that'll get it down to about 20 millimeters. And then we still have to radius this guy. So it's going to be a really slick neck, very thin neck, or a reasonably thin neck, as opposed to a thicker style or a medium style. Now let's just check the shape of that guy to see how it's traveling. We'll just get a quick profile and see how we're looking straight off the bat. So we've got a nice C shape there, right? We've got the C going good. Now we just got to get that thickness down and keep that profile roughly going. And the back is a little bit wider, of course. Let's grab the back as well. Get a good look at that guy. Okay. And the back is a little bit wonky. I've got to sort out this side here a little bit. I don't think I took that right. It's not too bad. So it's nice and round. We're going to refine that, of course, once we get the thickness down. So let's get on with it. Alrighty, who else we got? Have a drink. Cheers, big ears. That's not a bad idea. Who did that? Who said that? Let's drink to that, shall we? Cheers, big ears. He's looking up your old address. Okay. Good to go. Let's get this guy cut up. Cut up and carved out. Let's go. Get this guy up. The Shinto comes into play yet again. We love that Shinto. It does the job. It does a pretty cool job, if I do say so myself. Let me just try and get this neck sorted out so you can see most of it. There we go. That's it there. Okay, we grab that Shinto of ours, wherever it may be. Where is that Shinto guy? Right here. We're going to hit this guy straight across perpendicular to the center line, and just cut out a notch and keep working that and take that bulk out of the middle there. Then we're going to tidy up the transition and the volute area. We're almost there. That's down about 1/8 of an inch. We'll probably go down to about 1/4 of an inch, and then a little bit past that. Nearly there. Just round those corners off. And we're there. So we've got about 1/4 of an inch down, and we've just rounded those. So we're going to take that 1/4 of an inch straight off there. That'll bring that down to about, let me measure that. Let me take a measurement. Unradiused, of course, roughly 26. So by the time we round that over, it'll go to 25 or 24. And by the time we scrape that, it'll probably go down to about 22. We then radius the fretboard. We're going to lose a couple there, 20 to 21, which is where I want it. Roughly. So we'll work on that as we go. I'm just going to take a little bit off here. Just hold that slightly. Okay, that's good. And we just move along and do the next part. We can take a little bit more down on the edges here. It just helps that transition. Moving right along, lots of coach wood dust everywhere. Getting closer. Another clamp, as Terry would say, you can't have too many clamps. Karen Day, what's going on? Girl? What you doing, girl? How are you, Karen? Welcome on in. Big shout out for that lady, please. Yes, that's the one, Kazoo. What's happening, Kazaroo? The Shinto makes very light work of this guy. Enjoying a long weekend? Well, there you go. Good. I like to hear that. I hope you are enjoying yourself, having a relaxing time. All right, we're getting there. Inch by inch. Thinning this guy out. And then we shape those edges off and get that roundness in there. Whew. Hot day in Sydney today. It's going to hit mid-30s Celsius, which is about what, 95 maybe. Okay, looking good. We're getting there. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Okay. Halfway there. About 7 inches or 8 inches to go. And we're good to go. Whew. going to take a break for a minute. I'm going to go grab that body and show you guys what I'm up to with the body. Okay, we've got our first coat of black on there, just to get that grain popping. You can see all the grains drunk all that up. All right, we've got our recessed holes, we've got our pockets, we've got our F-hole. All that's going to be painted in, of course, when we get the colour right. The back, we've got our neck groove, our neck transition. You can see that sort of gives that two little horns looking at the back. We've started a tummy cut as well. There's a belly cut in there. So we're going to carve that down to that marked line and give that a little bit more profile, a little bit more waviness in there, and that'll complete it. But you can see with that belly cut in there and with that head shoulder cut up there, that crew neck, we're going to have a nice contoured back as well. Whew. Air conditioning or die? Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so there's that there. There's the front, of course. Okay, so it's drunk up all that black. You can see that red gum trying to poke through there and say hello. Okay. That's the color we're going for. Okay, when we're finished, we're going to have that pearlescent grayish sort of gunmetal color. Might be even a little bit lighter. We'll see how we go. It's very dark at the moment. Oh, okay, let's put that back. Keep drying. It's quite warm in here. I might just open up that back door and get some air in here because I'm a little bit stuffy. I don't use a fan in here because it'll blow dust around everywhere, and we don't need that in the air, suspended, and landing on paint jobs and breathing it in and all that sort of stuff. Not that there's any breeze or anything like that, but a little bit of fresh air just to keep the air circulating. Okay, let's carry on. Whew. Pretty. That command's got to go. It's pretty much going to go. That's what pretty means. Pretty stands for it's pretty much going to go. Okay, that's good. Let's keep on rocking. It's Shinto time, absolutely. Whew. Very nice. Getting there. Getting there. All right, about 6 inches to go. And then we've got some transition work to do down here. Let's just keep going. Done. 5 to go. Shinto shave, that's the one. Shave it all, as Karen would say. Shave it all. Shave it all. Stretch time. Okay. Ha! Karen's upset. What are you upset about now? Got a haircut today and I left it alone. I trimmed it up a little bit. I trimmed the sides a little bit. I should have shaved it all. Stretch time, guys and girls. Get those arms out. I've torn a rotator cuff, so I'm not going to go too high on this side here. It's hurting a little bit. Just rotate that. Actually, I should be doing those things to strengthen that rotator cuff with no weight or no resistance bands at this stage. Next week, I'll start with the resistance bands. It's right in there and it hurts like buggery. I can't get my arm up past there without it pinching. But we'll get there. It's just a little bit of this. Someone just threw a whole stuff of something all over my face on the screen. Who is that? Gatto's in the house. There they are, Mav, with his little bearded guy. All right, let me take my watch off. It's bloody humid, I'll tell you. It's sticky as. You can probably hear the cicadas. Can you hear the cicadas in the background? In the trees. Locusts. Once it hits 24 Celsius, they start going. Or 25, I think. Sometimes at night, you know, it's warm when you can hear them at night. Yeah, I know. I'll give you face palm. Ha! Okay, let's get on with it. Home stretch now, guys. Come on. Righty, we're getting there. Three to go. We've got a big bevel to take off here too. We're going to take that big bugger off there, make that a nice C. It's a real D at the moment. We've got to take those corners right off. Whew. Up, 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 up. more, another inch, and then we're done. Whew. I'm going to cut across here, then we're going to go down in that way. Okay. I'm going to have to transition that now with the curved rasp. Whew. This guy here. Okay, looking pretty good. Right. Now we need to get these edges rounded over. And then I'll transition these headstock area here. So I'm just going to round this over. Just going to bevel all the way to the fretboard. Just going to mark this guy. Whew, what do we got? Toppy 167, what's going on? Or 2 pi 67. Welcome on in. Mark that line there. I'm going to take that bevel off. Stand on this side here. And that'll round that over to where we want it. We'll check the profile soon. Scrape the rest. Cowbell. Come and get it. Just going to round over. Get rid of that. Put a bevel in there, and then we're going to use the scraper and get it nice and smooth. That's good. Okay, let's try this side. Okay, and now, ladies and gents, we take some profiles and check the balance of that guy. See how roughed out it is, how even it is. Okay, it's pretty even. A little bit wonky on one side. We're going to just shave that corner off. But it's a nice low profile, a very flat C. Let's check the middle. Again, a little bit higher on this side. Might just flatten that right now. Let's take that again. A little bit high. Okay, it's better. We're almost right. Nearly there. Pretty good at the back. Okay. Nice and even. Okay, what we want to do is start scraping this guy now. First things first, I'm going to sand that guy, get some bumps off there. So I'll grab myself a bit of 240. I'll get my mask on because this stuff it flies up. And then we'll obviously finish. Actually, before I do that, let me finish the transition here. The volute. And you can see, Terry, I'm rounding that off now. I'm rounding that off. There we go. There we go. That's nice and neat. Okay, you can see that shape now. And we will sand and round that over. place. Grab the neck and test fit the palm around there. See what it feels like right up the top at the first fret. It feels really good. You should be able to grab it like a baseball bat and it's comfortable. There's no bumps. There's a bit of a bump there. Smooth that out. Okay. Looking good. Let's take a reading right up here and see what we're looking like. Lovely. Beautiful, nice and flat, beautiful round C, a medium C. That's feeling really good. Let's have a look at that. We'll sand that down. I'll put some paper, a mask on. Whew. Whew. Safety first, that's right. Just using a smoother file, just to get rid of some of those tooth marks. Grab a blade. I like to use a ruler. Even a square does a good job. So it scrapes it quite well.
I'm training. Yeah, it should be cooler in about 3 weeks, but you never know. We've had a pretty cool summer, and we might be on a warm fall. You know, a bit of a late, delayed summer. Okay, let's get out the straight edge. Have a look at this neck. There's a bump right there. There's a bump right there. Okay. So those areas there. Beautiful. Nice. 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 Okay, so nice shape. Just got to get the thickness down. that edge. Really good, really good. Almost there, about 90%, I'd say. Get this mask off.
Whoa! It's boiling in here, guys and girls. It's hot. And it doesn't help when you're just furiously scraping away. Here's Big Ears, who's looking up your old address. Look at you guys going with your commands. It's like a new lease of, you've got a new lease on life. What's going on with you guys? Let's have a look at this neck. Okay. There she is. Okay, almost pretty much the shape we want. I've got to do a little bit more. You can see the transition on the back there. The volute on the front. Okay, lots of little fine sanding to go, but it's almost there. I'll just check the thickness of that guy. Might need to come down a little bit more. We'll do that later. I'm going to stop doing this right now because it's just too much. Where is that tool? Let's take a measurement. Remember, this hasn't been radiused yet. We're doing it on a flat board at the first fret. 23 at the first fret, so that's not too bad. A little bit more will come off. That means it'll be down to about, by the time we sand it, 20 to 21. Down the back here, 25, a little bit thicker. We're going to take a little bit more off that, maybe 1 or 2 more mil at the most. But not now. I'm going to take a break from this guy and I'm going to get the body back in here and we're going to, let's just check the transition on that body and then we're going to sand that flat. So I'll bring that body back in. Bring the body back in. I was showing my 3-year-old the work and I asked her if she wanted to build a guitar. Yes, absolutely. Look, my daughter, who's now nearly 18, my youngest daughter, she built a guitar 2 years ago for her 16, when she was 16, an acoustic guitar for her school project, and she topped the class, except I just found out, and I wasn't told, I just found out that her guitar, and I wondered where it was all this time, and it was left at school because they did a presentation and it got photos put in the magazine and all sorts of stuff. Somebody broke it. Somebody broke the neck. Somebody broke the top of the guitar. And the school is now wiping their hands of it. I'm going to wipe the floor with them. People are so freaking stupid. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention that and just get that off my chest. So, yes, build a guitar with your daughter. Kristen's acoustic is now broken, and I'm broken because she worked her little butt off for that. Yeah. Yeah, people are buttholes, as I call them, Terry. Absolute buttholes. It's not funny, Mav. Dana, take that laugh command away. It's ridiculous. Okay. Here's the body for this guy. All dry now. We can sand this off and have a look at that. I'm going to fit the neck on there and see what it looks like. Get a look at it with the neck in and you'll get to see. So we've got to work on this guy here as well. We've got to finish this cut, which I probably won't do today. I don't want to sand anymore today. But you can see the transition now, how that works. Can you see how that works, Terry? There you go. You've got all those ellipses in there and they sort of match and blend into each other. Okay. Yep. And there it is there with a bit of color on it. That looks, yeah, that's starting to come up okay. We're going to sand that off now, but look at that neck. That's going to look beautiful with a dark body, is it not? Yeah. People are moronic, absolutely, and I've written several letters in my lifetime to that school principal. Some were polite, some were absolute, what they call paint strippers. They would strip paint off a wall. But yes, I feel there's another urgent need for a nice, very descriptive letter to the principal of that school. You could imagine what's going through my mind at the moment. But anyway, it's all good. We're going to sort that out. They are insured. I plan to claim on their insurance to replace that instrument, which is irreplaceable, by the way, but I'm going to get material so she can make another one. Okay, let's sand a little bit here. I'm going to put my mask back on as much as it pains me.
Safety first. Let's get some of that grit off here and see what we can, what that grain's going to look like. Okay, bench. Right, there she is. Sander. Off we go. I'm going to work on the rest of it with the sandpaper in my hand. Going to check that.
I'm going to hit that with some water and just raise that grain a little bit. It's a little bit darker already. Whew. Whew. No, I wasn't joking, Mav. Just get rid of it. Only because it's such a sensitive topic to me that it just wasn't appropriate, that's all. I'm not blaming you. It's my fault for having the command on there in the first place. So, you know, I'm trying to get rid of some of that junk, that rubbish. There's only so much there's only so far you can go with it. We use it, we overuse it. If we overuse it sometimes it just doesn't, it loses its effect. Okay. I'm not going to worry about the edges too much because there is going to be a burst on this guy, but I just want to wet that guy and have a look and just see what that's going to look like with a bit of water on there. See how it darkens up and get that grain to raise a little bit. Oh yeah, you can see that already. You can start to see that already. It's really popping. Starting to pop a little bit darker around the edges. See how that's popping a little bit. All out of water. Damn it. So another coat, I think, and that'll bring that right up. Another coat should bring that right up. Yeah, you can see that starting to pop. So another coat of black, and then you'll really see those tiger stripes. You can start to see it now. It's really starting to pop. So we'll let that dry off. This will raise the grain a little bit. We'll give it another coat, and then we'll sand it off again, and then we're good to go with the colour. So you can see those little guys. Okay, we're starting to get some stripes, some stripiness going in there. Another coat of black, and then we should be good to go. Let that dry off in a second. Put another coat of black on there. Woo. Fire! I'm just too hot. Yes, Rage. Ha! You're a funny guy. Here's the neck for that guy. There's the combo. Let's get some black on there. I'm going to sand some of those edges. Get some of that grain flattened out now. Okay, I'm going to put one more coat of black on this, and then when we come back Monday, we're going to have the greys. We're going to sand that off, and we're going to put the greys on there, right? So let's do that. Okay, black again. More gloves. One, two. Clean rag. Let's wipe that guy down first. There is a dark burst going around there, so I'm not going to worry about these buttons yet. Sanding by hand can make the deeper in the grain. Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, I take a lot of it off. I use a spirit based, and it tends to penetrate pretty deep. Rage. The top colors will be watercolors though, so there's only so much it'll take up, but then the rest of the raw stuff. That's why I like to use the sander to get back down to the raw, except I don't push it too hard, and then I feather the rest of the area with by hand to allow more of that fiber to stay rather than take it all off. But it's okay. I get your point, and it's a good point. Let me grab the ink, and let's get some more black on here. Here we go. Black. We'll get some fresh cloth. Cut up some fresh cloth. Where's that scissors gone? Here it is. Okay. And we'll hit that now with a bit of black. And that will pretty much it until we come back. Sand it lightly by hand, and then I start applying the gunmetal or the mixture. Start at the edges, get those nice and dark. You can almost see it falling through the grain. Ooh. See you, Orby. Take it easy, brother. Enjoy your dinner. That's right. Ramen Metal Gaming. Welcome on in. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the Guitar Show Australia. My name is Manny. I build funny guitars. I build silly guitars for fun. All right. Really thick coat this time. We're going really hard on it. We don't want it pulling up. We're just going to feather that. Make sure there's no big wet blobs. We want to take them all up. Just rub that in, push that in. There we go, that's better. No pooling, no wet patches. What I'll do before I sand this guy, I'm going to finish So when this dries, I'm going to finish the remaining holes on the top. I'm going to fit the rings where the pickup rings are going, get those holes drilled. Also get the jack cut out and drilled. Then I can give it one final sanding on the edges and get them prepped with the top. But the top's done now, and we can pretty much let that sit there and sand it off, knowing that we're going to get just the right color. Pop it in. Just take these gloves off. I'm going to mock this up now with the neck and see what it looks like. Provided I don't get any ink on my hands. No, that's all clean. Good. Turn this guy around. Shouldn't fall, I hope. Da-da-da-da, there she is. So you can see the curves there a little bit better now with a bit of the light shining on her. Okay, there's the curve at the front. Show you that. So that's the top. It just falls away. You can see the bump I've got in there. And that just S's down through there, down through the back. We're going to put a belly cut in there. We've started doing that. Okay, and that's going to curve up and cut away in there. Gives that a little bit more streamlined look. And the back, of course, is very gentle, just curving away with the contours there. Okay, so when we come back next week, we'll have this guy. We'll have this guy fitted up and ready to go. It's going to look great with that color. You can just see a little bit of that red. Tell me if the camera picks it up. Even though all that black's on there, you might see a bit of copper tinge through there. Eventually, that's what we want. With the white pearl dropped into the black, we're going to get that gunmetal pearl look for the top coats. So we're going to sand that off. And that, of course, with a nice amber natural body is going to pop really beautifully. So it's coming along nicely, I think. We'll just let that guy dry, and we'll be back again tomorrow to sort that out. Like a frosted cake. It's like chocolate cake, Willie. Like chocolate cake. Someone sent me a message. I want to see who that is. It is... yep, that's all good. Okay, we're good to go. Let me just check and see what else is happening. There's latest pictures of that thing is on Instagram. If you've got our Instagram links, go and check out some of the pics I've got on there. We have posted some progress pictures on there, so have a look at how that's going if you want to catch up. There's also replays of the stream on YouTube, on Twitch, and on Facebook as well. So if you haven't followed us on YouTube and Facebook, do us a favor. Go and check us out. Find the Guitar Show Oz on Facebook. Find the Guitar Show Oz on YouTube. Give us a follow if you don't mind. Help us along. Help us expand those platforms as I plan to expand and potentially migrate, but we'll see how that goes. We don't know where we're going to be in a year's time. So at the moment, I'm happy streaming to 3 platforms. I'm just going to check and see what's going on. Okay, there's nothing going on. I'm going to leave it there. All right, guys and girls. We need commands for YouTube and Facebook. We do. Yes, I don't know any commands for YouTube and Facebook. I don't even know if they have commands in their chats. Dana, that's your homework. Your homework is to go away and look that up. I'll do some research and see what we can come up with. The problem is we have one command engine. It's being run through Streamlabs. We might have to move all our bot commands to Restream. Then it might, because Restream is the thing that distributes to the other platforms. It may have some commands that we might be able to do. See, Blizz, where are you? In the house. Happy time zones. Karen, good night to you. I'm going to head off now. Your timing is impeccable, Sea Blizz. We're just about to finish. For those that haven't seen it, okay, It's starting to dry. You can see some of that stripiness coming up. That's this guy here. Okay, when we get that guy finished, he's going to be a beaut. We're going to come back tomorrow, sand that black off and start getting that colour on there. But until then, guys and girls, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to go and get some lunch and turn on that aircon and burn some coal and get my room cool. Anyway, I'll be back again in a couple of days. Keep an eye out, guys and girls. Look after each other. Have a great weekend. Look after one another. Look after yourselves as well. Don't forget to say hello to yourself every now and then and see how you're feeling. Until then, guys and girls, I'll be back on Monday. Catch you then. Have a good weekend. Bye for now.